there, it's Perry with PapercraftingThreads. Thanks for joining me. Today, I have a fall-themed vertical gatefold card. Feel free to substitute your own supplies, but I think you're going to want these pumpkins. I did. Let's get started.
I have a piece of basic beige cardstock measuring 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. I have another piece of basic beige cardstock measuring 4 1/8 inches by 11 inches. Score one of the long sides at 2 3/4 inches. Rotate it to the opposite side and score at 2 7/8. I have a piece of early espresso that measures 1 inches by 10 inches. I have another piece of early espresso. This is for the bottom half of the gatefold, and this measures 2 3/4 by 4 inches. I have a piece of the Gathering Together Designer Series paper. I'm using this side with the little dots on there. And this measures 2 5/8 by 4 inches. I have another piece of that same DSP that measures 1 inch by 3 7/8. I have a card liner of basic white that measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And I have some scraps, a scrap of basic white for stamping, another scrap of this Designer Series paper that we're going to use for die cutting, a piece of Calypso Coral cardstock, also for die cutting, and another piece of that Designer Series paper with this pattern on it, though this is going to be a shame not to use that side. I have an assortment of inks I'm going to be using. Calypso Coral, Petal Pink, and Peach Pie. And we're starting with the Beautiful Pumpkins stamp set. Start out with Calypso Coral and Petal Pink. And these are quite juicy, so I'm going to spread that ink away from the center. And same thing for this one. Be sure to clean your spoon in between. And I'm starting with this one first. And then the next one I'm using is with Peach Pie. And again, these are all quite juicy, so I want to push some of that ink to the side. And this pumpkin I'm using Calypso Coral, and Peach Pie. And the last one I'm using Peach Pie, and Petal Pink. I made myself a little cheat sheet so I can remember what colors I used for future reference. And I'll just slide this into the stamp case. And I need some stems for my pumpkins. So I'm using Old Olive and Mossy Meadow. And again, these are very juicy. And this time, I'm going to ink it up in the light color and then kind of rock and roll it into the second darker color. Clean your stamp if you're doing it for a second one. And then I'm ready to die cut. So for the pumpkins, there's matching dies, as well as for the stems. And then the leaves from this set, using this striped piece. And these two pieces, I'm die cutting with the Just a Note. So I have the basic beige card base and the vertical gatefold portion with my score lines. Just going to fold that up, use the bone folder, and fold this one. They will overlap. Okay. This one here that I'm putting on top is a little bit smaller, and I can tell by how this lines up because it's a very thin 1/8 inch border all the way around. And this piece is just a little bit bigger. And this piece is going to be embossed with the Pressed Flowers embossing folder. I'm turning it this way to put my paper in. And then I'm going to run it through with the seam going first into my cut and emboss machine, and I'll be right back. So now we'll be assembling. So I'll be attaching this, and I love this pattern on the back, but for this card, the other side will be better. Then open it up. Here is the liner. And that little strip. And I forgot that I needed an extra pumpkin. So I also stamped and die cut this one and assembled it. Then I'll take the belly band, position it here in the middle, and wrap it around. This way I can adjust it if I don't want it too tight, but I also don't want it too loose. If it's too tight, won't be able to open the card. Snip off that bit of excess. And then I'm applying liquid glue here on this end and on this end. I'm pressing and holding that for a minute. To apply this piece here. So putting this up here so I can see where I need the glue. And this one I want to go like this. But I have to be careful that my edges don't go over. And before I adhere that, I'm going to stamp Sentiment, which is from the brand new Gathering Moments set. And I'm using Early Espresso ink. And normally I wouldn't stamp it right on here, but I want to make sure I get this straight. And because I'm angling that top piece, it needs to be on here. But it's not bumpy under where I'm stamping it. And then the blending brush, I'm going to ink up some of that and go around my edges. I have a bronze alcohol marker and I want the wide tip, and very gently going to flick here and splatter. You don't want to press too hard or you'll wreck the tip of your blend. And once again, I'm going to put some adhesive across the middle here, staying down in here. And I'm going to assemble my pumpkins just by putting a dab of glue here at the base of the stem. And I'm making sure I'm not putting them on straight. And this one I trimmed down a little bit just so that it looks different from that one there. So I just cut in closer so there's less of a white border on that one. Adding a dimensional just to this side of the big pumpkin. Adding glue over here. Removing that backing. And then this one is going here. And this one I want to raise up, but I have to be careful that I don't put anything down in here that won't move, because this belly band has to come off. So I'm going to put my dimensional over here on that side. So I can see I only want adhesive behind these two, not this one. It's too close to the edge. And I love this brown side, but I now want to cut some leaves out and use this side as the front for a project. And this one is going to go over here. So I'm being careful where I put that glue, because I want this to kind of hang off. And then I have some of the linen thread. And I'll tie a bow with this. And I have glue dots here. So I'm going to use my finger to roll it up. And then apply it to the back of this knot. And really kind of get that wadded up in there so it's not sticking out a lot. And then placing that right there. And there you have it, a vertical gatefold card. Remove the belly band. And room for your message inside.
Find written instructions over on my blog at... If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share, and thanks for watching. Bye!